Wow, that's excellent, my dude. Be like, did you come out of my Ninja Turtle stream? Totally radical. You got the console back. Water break. Now I can actually talk. Hello, beautiful viewers. It is time for the final episode, stream, whatever, however you're watching this. The final version of however you're watching this for our Pokemon Gold randomized Nuzlocke run. Like, how are you sure it's gonna be the last thing? You're like, how do you know this will be the last stream, last video? Because there's one thing left to do. That's how I know. Now, before we get into that, I did a little bit of stuff between streams. I got a little bit of bookkeeping to go over. The main thing being, oh my goodness, did I spend a lot of time power leveling. So much time. It hurts. It hurts my head. It hurts my face. It hurts my spirit. Please make it stop. Yeah, so as you can see, everyone here is level 77. Like, that seems kind of excessive. It's not, I promise. We'll get into that. But in doing, what have I done with that power leveling? Well, first of all, we taught Shucky, we're not from leveling. I think this one was a TM, but instead of Pursuit, I taught it Razor Leaf. And you're like, that's weird, you're having like your bug with a grass move. Yeah, because we don't have a grass move, period. I was like, well, since we're not using Venusaur, having someone with Razor Leaf, and the fact is Pursuit, not very good. I mean, like, it can be very good in runs, like, but at this point, we don't need it. It's a pretty low, like, it's a 40 attack, I think. So, and this is 55, you know. So, like, we have a new type coverage, and it's a little stronger. So, all right, we did that. Beyond that, Rotini here, instead of Slam, now has Hyper Beam. Yeah, it's one of those 2-turn moves that, you know, you get 1 turn to attack and 1 turn to rest up, but like 150 attack power, like, and you know, it's Dragonite. Like, why would we not teach it Hyper Beam? Has Lance taught us nothing? Of course, Dragonite needs to have Hyper Beam. So, and like, come on, we don't care about Slam anyway. Finally, for one fight, or you know, one important fight, instead of Confusion, Mewtwo finally has Psychic, which is just a lot stronger. Like, yeah, it won't confuse, but it might lower special defense. Forget all that. It just does a lot more damage. So, hooray! Finally, our Psychic type, like, well, you know, Lacey's like, what do you mean you're Psychic type? I've been here since the beginning. I'm sorry, Lacey. Our really heavy-hitting Psychic type finally has Psychic. Oh, and speaking of Mewtwo, because during this leveling, I mean, I leveled everywhere, including going through the Elite Four a bunch, because they're a good way to get experience. I got a lot of money, so I took the amulet coin off of Nairobi. I'm set. Like, I have 41 full restores, you know, 48 hyper potions, 31. Like, I'm fine for. I bought a bunch of items. I don't need any more money, so we gave Nairobi the leftovers. All right, that's the bookkeeping. Let's get this run finished. And speaking of which, I can't be here to finish it. I need to go here. Yeah, I'm not sure how long this video will be, because I'm gonna just go until I complete it, and that could be pretty short, pretty long. I don't remember, like, the dungeon, Mount Silver. Hey, that's me. How long that takes to do. Hey, you. If you recall, Oak was like, hey, once you have all the Kanto badges, come back and talk to me. So we're doing that. Wow, that's excellent. Oh, that's not. Wow, that's excellent, my dude. Be like, did you come out of my Ninja Turtle stream? Totally radical. You got the Kanto badge. Oh, you collected the badges of gyms and Kanto. Well done. I was right in my assessment of you. Tell you what, Silver. I'll make arrangements so that you can go to Mount Silver. I mean, that seems apropos. That is my name. I think I own that mountain by rights. Like, is that your spot? Did you put your name on it? Be like, well, is that your mountain? Did you put your name on it? And you're like, yeah, actually, I did. It's named after me. It's my mountain. Oh, okay, sure, go ahead. Mount Silver is a big mountain that is home to many wild Pokemon. It's too dangerous for your average trainer, so it's off limits. But, well, we can make an exception in your case, Silver. Go up to Indigo Plateau. You can reach Mount Silver from there. Oh, how is your Pokedex coming? Not really any different since last you saw. I mean, I've seen one more. You know. We made that progress. We went from 247 to 248, and that's still crazy. Out of 251, we've now seen 248. That is crazy. Back to Victory Road, but wait, what? Oh. Silver, are you already lost? Yes, maybe I should restrict your passage after all. We have to go to the other side of, yeah. Actually, I was like, well, what's gonna be faster? Going through Victory Road from the top or going like from Johto going like, neither. The option is we take a third route. It'll be faster than either of those. Whoop. We go from Viridian. And that's why I'm a master Pokemon champion. Because I can think outside the box. Do you approach from the top or do you approach from the bottom? I approach from the side. What? He's amazing. That what was very, Ocean. Like, what? Ocean? Yeah, Ocean, like, from my, Hooked on You stream from way back. What? You're a Pokemon trainer? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, go watch it. Unless you're, like, a little kid watching this, and then that video is not for you. That is definitely a video for mature audiences. All right. I don't know if we got an encounter on this route. If we did, I just ran from it. I mean, that was a duplicate. I don't care. We're going to Mount Silver. Yeah, in here. So if you recall, when we first came up here, this was blocked. There was a guy here and a guy here. This guy, I think, disappeared earlier. Basically, if you just come from Viridian, I think he's gone because they're like, oh, okay, you're back there now, so I guess I don't need to block this. But the guy that was standing right here being like, nope. That's why we had to talk to the professor after getting the badges. Now, the fact that, like, anyone else could come in right now. All right, let this boy in. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go take a break. Wait, what about all the other people you're supposed to block? And he's like, nah, not my problem. You're not my boss. I think you'll find that I am. I pay your salary. Oh, sorry, Professor. All right, do we have anyone on Route 28? No, there's a new route. I mean, yeah, well, do we need to catch anyone? No, but I'm just curious. I'm sure you're curious. Like, what do we have here? You, Route 28. Give me something good. What am I gonna, what would be good enough to, like, I have one of you already. I believe your name was Barbie, yep. Because chat had a request for a pink thing named Barbie to go with Oppenheimer. And Lickitung was the answer to that. All right, well. Anybody else? Yeah, like, that's new. All right, Donphan. Ooh, you're gonna be annoying to catch. Because I said, like, all the things that I could potentially catch, I've been like, all right, let's send in our guy with False Swipe. Oh, wait, weak to fire. And now, like, oh, wait, weak to ground. I mean, all right, never mind. We're way higher level now, though. I forgot that part. I was like, yeah, sure, we're, like, 10 levels higher, but it could still hurt a lot with Earthquake or whatever, but yeah, we're not 10 levels higher now. We're almost 40 levels higher. Womp. Okay, but you do need to stop with that rollout business. Thank you. All right. Because, yeah, I mean, like, is rollout 5 gonna kill Chucky? No, but it's still gonna hurt. So you just stay in the ball. We're done with rollout. We're gonna keep going to Mount Silver. It's fine. And Bop, you stay. Ow. Stop that. No, yeah, I should have just, like, hit him and killed him. We don't need to take a rollout 5. It's the principle of the thing. Ow. Yeah, alright, we're done here. Let's use out our new Razor Leaf. That's why rollout is crazy. Alright, well, we don't care. Oh no, if only I had some healing items. Yeah, come on. Yeah, we get it. You're filling up the health. Alright, onwards. And like, yeah, well, I could use Max Repel once we like get into Mount Silver, but you know, again, we want to see what there is to encounter. Up there, you say? Oh, what else could we have gotten? Nah, I'm good. We already tried to fight you once, it didn't work. Look, Don Fan, I know. You want to join my team, but you had your chance, and... like, how do I... Oh, I only have 33 max repels left. What will I do? Okay, so... can we get there from up here? No. That must just be a hidden item then. Okay, well then where do we go? Exactly. Oh. We go this way. Hooray, I found the secret. The answer was walking on the path I didn't check earlier. Also, the secret was using a max repel. So, oh, hey, who's out here? Hi.
Oh, trainers seek power to climb Mount Silver despite its many dangers. With their trusted Pokemon, they must feel they can go anywhere.
Yeah, that's about right. I'm full health. Like, oh no, we only have 14 oh no. Is cut gonna be a thing? No, it's not. Okay. Is Flash? I gotta check this first. Yes, Flash is gonna be a thing. All right, well, I forgot that. Here we are, all super leveled for our fight, and we can't use all our Pokemon unless we want to teach Flash to one of them. Okay, we've cut the trees. Oh, little house. Hi, little house. You have, like, items for me?
Oh dear, you found me. Please don't tell anyone about me. I'll give you this for keeping my secret, please.
Like, this seems very, like, Zelda stuff, like, shh, it's a secret to everyone. Do-do-do-do. I don't know what I got, but it's tough being a top celebrity. Everywhere I go, people chase me. I just want to be left alone. Hero's like,
please leave us alone.
Repels effect aura. I first thought he'd be like, wait, come back. I have another item for you. What did I get? 42? 47? 40 something. TM42 is Moonlight. TM47. It is Substitute. Not bad, but... okay, now I saw there was a little dead end here. Really? There's no item right here? I'm dubious about that, unless you have to use the item finder. Let me try that. Did I have the item finder, or did I, like, not pick that up? Doesn't matter, but... let's see. Okay, I have no item finder, so whatever. If there's something hidden there, we'll never know. Okay, so... what HMs do I need? No. Okay. We do not need Whirlpool for Mount Silver. I just didn't remember, like, right, it's a mountain. What? There's no water in it. I mean, like, the path to Johto had water in that cave. There could have been water. But there's luckily no water in this one, or at least none that require Whirlpool. So, what I'm going to do, just because I don't want to go into this fight with only 5 usable Pokemon, I'm just going to teach Flash to, probably to replace Snore on Meatball. Because that's, like, the one thing we don't really need. Because, yeah, like, do we want to replace Outrage? No. Hyper Beam? No. Dragon Rage... Dragon Rage wouldn't be bad to replace. Like, 40 damage when we're doing, like, this high-level fights? Not great. Like, but it's a dragon. It should have dragon rage. Well, this cave is full of darkness, and I'd just be, like, stuck. So, Flash. Again, it's been a long time since we used an HM, but we have universal HM compatibility, because if we didn't, we could potentially softlock. So, we know that Rotini can learn Flash. Delete an older move, yes, unfortunately. And poof. But I mean, yeah, like yes, it's 40 guaranteed damage, which is great. But we're in the 70s, like 40 damage is not a lot. Does that mean I could beat the Elite Four with just Magikarp? Well, just a Magikarp, probably not. Just because of the sheer stat difference. Like, yes, I could teach a Magikarp all the HM. Now, for the most part, I've been trying to avoid, like, during the run, I was trying not to get too crazy. Like, okay, yes, Quattrus, our Sandshrew, has cut and Whirlpool and Flash stuff because we don't use them in fights. For things that we've been using in fights, we've been trying to keep it, like, you know, Fly is on Charizard, who's flying type. Oh. Hi, spammer. Oh, I have my mod stuff disabled. Let's see. Show mod icons. Thank you. Okay. There. Now that spam messages have been deleted, to answer your question, besides the fact that I've been trying to keep the HMs for battle at least somewhat normal, it's like we have Fly on Charizard because it's a flying type. You know, Slowbro has Surf and Waterfall. You know, Strength, normal move. We put it, you know, we gave it to our giant bear. So for like battles, I've been trying not to get too out of the ordinary. Like, I'm not giving like Surf to the Charizard. But even if we did want to be like, we just give every HM to anyone we want. With a single Magikarp, I doubt you could beat the Elite Four just because of attrition. Like, its stats just aren't good enough, even with moves, to survive that long. And I don't even know if 6 Magikarp could do it. Like, that's something like that people who are better at Pokemon than me would have to run the numbers, but I think even with 6 Magikarps, they wouldn't have enough, like, maybe at level 100? Because, like, the Elite Four was what? Like, I think it was 50? Something like that. Yeah, I guess if, like, you had 6 Magikarp at, like, 100, if they all had HMs, maybe. But I don't know, like, I'm not sure if stat-wise, they'd be able to hold out or not. Just because with no defense and no hit points and stuff, like, even if they're doing moves that they normally couldn't do, just by, like, sheer attrition, I don't know that they'd survive. But again, I don't know. People that know the numbers of Pokemon, like, tell me, can six level 100 Magikarps do the Elite Four? I don't even remember what mine randomized into, but we'll just say the regular Elite Four. All right. Anyways, what was I doing? Right. So I taught Flash to Rotini because I don't want to have to go into this fight with only 5, and I forgot to put on Max Repel. Arcanine. Whoa, that is a bad matchup. Leave. Luckily, I know that I'm gonna run away because I'm 36 levels higher. Just let me into the cave. I can get in, like, our last encounter. The battle for the... No, we're gone. Good music. But, you know, it makes sense. It's like the end dungeon. I don't know what I'm clicking on here. Flash. A blinding flash lights the area through the power of dragon magic. Okay. And our Mount Silver encounter is... You're a duplicate.
Oh boy, I got me a sody pop.
All right, give me something else. What else you got? Just watch it have, like... I don't have a Drowsy. Like, Drowsy's not a bad Pokemon. I mean, going to Hypno, but... I don't like Drowsy's look. There's something about, like, I never like look. It's something about its weird nose. And, like, yes, I understand it's like a taper. But, like, a taper, when it's on all fours going, like, forward and snurfling along, that's fine. It's when it's standing up like a humanoid, and then it's just got this little blah, 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 hanging off its face. I do not like it. If you think you had a good dream, but you can't remember it, a drowsy has probably eaten it. Oh, what a jerk. Give it a nickname? Yeah, alright, well, you're our last guy, so we'll call you Omega. That's a way better name than you deserve, but you're our final catch of the run. And I suppose I should actually heal up to get all my PP back, but we don't need to worry about getting caught anymore in all this grass and the like, because bam, max repel. Welcome to our Pokemon Center. We can heal it to perfect health. Yes, please. I know that I'm only like a few hit points short and a few PP short, but depending on how the randomizer treats us, even like, you're like, why are you healing? You have one major fight left to do. No, I don't need to heal twice. You have one major fight left to do and you're all level 77. What are you worried about? I'm worried about the fact that we still might lose. Like, that's silly. No, that's serious. Like, legitimately, we might lose this fight, depending on how the randomizer rolls. Which is fine. If we lose this fight, it's okay. Again, we already beat the Nuzlocke by beating the Johto Elite Four. This is just icing on the cake. And what a delicious cake it is. How do I get this item? I love items. That's a good find. Like, why do you even need items? Because of stuff like Max Ether. Like, if we use all 10 Psychics on Mewtwo, now we can fill it up again. Like, that's a good find right now. I don't remember how long this cave is. It's not too involved. You know, it's not, if I'm remembering correctly, it's not like the, like Mewtwo's cave was in Gen 1. Whatever that one was called, like the Lost Cave, the Mystery Cave, I don't know. All right, Silver found a silver leaf. Wow, we're getting super meta. Silver in Mount Silver. No, we have to go back. This is so meta that it's the streamer Silver have their character Silver in Mount Silver find a silver leaf. I don't think there's anything that, like, is more appropriate. You'll wear it with pride. Actually, I think that just increases bug moves, so we're not gonna put that on at all, but that is not. I was thinking silver powder. Never mind, you're one of those weird Gen 2 items that I don't know. Pokemon Silver Leaf. Silver Leaf. A valuable item introduced in Gen 2. Of course it is, because I'm like, what's this item? If I'm like, what is this item? Chances are it's just like a random item from Gen 2 that never appears elsewhere, because there's like 1,000 of those apparently. Yeah, all right, you can sell it for 500. I don't know where you normally get them, but hey, Ether, look at that. Our items are okay. Like Soda Pop is like, all right, 80 health, whatever. But I mean, like, that's usable. So we got a usable healing item, an Ether, a Max Ether, and the most appropriate item ever. Ooh, are we already at... No. Are we at the end already? We are not. I don't know which way to go. I'll put you up top before I accidentally use you. Door number 1. Is this... No, this is a bridge. Nope. I think we found it. Okay. I'm stopping right here for a sec. I want... Now, some people, if you know Gen 2, you know about what's about to happen. That's fine. But I need to bring a point up that I brought up earlier. I wish there was a little bit better music for it, but it is what it is. As I've said before, during this run, Pokemon Gold and Silver might be overall my favorite Pokemon generation. And yes, I've complained about a lot of stuff in this run, especially being an older generation. Yes, there are problems. The box, I've complained about probably the most in this one, about how you only get like, yes, you only get 20 things per box, but like that's the same as other games. Yeah, but the fact that you have to like save the game to switch a box just to look at a Pokemon, not even just transfer it. And then you have to save the game again if you want to switch back. Future games, that's so much better, where essentially, yes, you have different boxes, but you can just flip through it as if it's all one menu. So like, yeah, that's not the greatest. Whatever. HMs, they're still a thing here. I've complained about them during the Leaf Green playthrough. I complained about them now. I've said before, I like the newer generations, how they handle it. Especially, I mean, yeah, getting rid of HMs was great, but like, especially the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, how they handled it, that like, they still had the HM spots, like you had to have Waterfall, you had to have Cut, you know, all that stuff. But they gave it to you as special moves that your buddy, like your Pikachu or your Eevee, would learn outside of battle, so you don't run into stuff like this, or I'm like, oh, I want to go through this mountain. Oh, well, we need Flash, so either we have to bring someone that already has Flash that we don't want to use, or we have to teach Flash to a Pokemon that we don't really want to teach it to. So, like, getting rid of that in future generations was great, so yeah, that's kind of, you know, annoying in this whole thing. But even with those back here, and the fact that, you know, they put Steel and Dark in this gen, but Fairy's still not a thing yet, so that's a little sad. But with all those said, even with all those negatives, Generation 2 is probably my favorite. And you're like, yeah, I recall you saying something about this earlier. You said there were 3 reasons? Yes. Reason number 1. Let's go in order. We talked about 2 of them so far. Reason 1 is because of Lance's hyper beaming a dude into a wall. It comes out of nowhere. It's like, no one does this ever again, really. To my knowledge, like, maybe someone does it, but like, I don't know of anything in a game. Really, even the anime, they do stuff like Pikachu will shock Team Rocket and stuff, but in the games, Pokemon don't generally, aren't ordered to attack people. And so it's just like out of nowhere that Lance is like, hey dude, get out of my way, Hyper Beam, bwomp. First of all, then he just resorts to like ultra violence right out of step 1. It's really funny. And it's like, no one ever does this again. They don't say anything, like, no one's like, hey, Lance, maybe you shouldn't do that. And Lance is like, oh, yeah. Like, they just do it and ignore it. And yet at the same time, as I've said before, they make a nod to this in a future game where there's an Easter egg with the dude who got hyper beamed. And basically it's like, oh, yeah, I used to work as this, like, security guard at that pharmacy. And, like, that, you know, made me want to become a, like, strong training, like, fighter because he's, like, a black belt. But I'm still afraid of Hyper Beam, and so it's like the game's like, yeah, people don't use Pokemon on other people, except for the one time they did, wink. And so, like, that's one reason why this game is great, because it comes out of nowhere, it makes no sense, it's really funny, and the game, like, still, like, never mentions it again, while still also being like, oh yeah, we're not talking about that never happened, but it totally did. So that's one reason why I like this gen. 2, as I said when we beat the Elite Four, the fact that you open up into an entirely another game. You beat the game and they're like, oh, did you have fun playing this game? And you're like, yeah. We're like, well, how would you like to play another game on top of it? And you're like, what? Like, the fact that Gen 1... Now, yes, it's not the exact same as Gen 1. Like, you don't... Cinnabar is just one building. You don't go all through Sylph Tower. So it's not, like, the entire thing you did in Gen 1. But the fact that, like, you do Gen 2 and they're like, you know, you, like, have all these new cool Pokemon. You want to go back and play that old game with all these new guys? And you're like, yes. And they're like, okay, you can do that. And you're like... It was crazy at the time. Like, I don't, like, yes, games are really big now and, like, lots of stuff is included, but I don't think you understand. If you were not alive back then, or were too young to be doing this, the fact that you had a game and the sequel is like, oh, by the way, do you want to play the first game with all your sequel stuff now? It was pretty crazy at the time. And as I also said when I mentioned that earlier, it's something that not a lot of games even do nowadays. Like, I can think of a couple examples. When I first mentioned it, I said, like, I know, like, Link, the original, like, Legend of Zelda, that whole map is contained within The Legend of Zelda, The Adventure of Link, Link 2, Zelda 2. But in terms of sheer, like, yeah, that's just, like, sort of part of it. But it's just, like, you're not, like, redoing the dungeons. Like, the only other game I can think of where I've had that same sense of, like, the game being like, hey, do you want to take a trip down memory lane and explore all of this previous game? Or, you know, most. The only other thing I can think of off the top of my head is Metal Gear Solid 4. But spoiler alert for Metal Gear Solid 4, but it's pretty, you know, at this point, you probably have already played it if you want to. When you go back to Shadow Moses Island, and like, yes, it's still all destroyed, so you're not doing everything you did in Metal Gear Solid 1, but the fact that you go back to Shadow Moses and it's like the same as the first, like, PS1 game. And, you know, and there's the cute, like, you know, Kojima breaking the fourth wall when it's like, oh, it's time to change discs. Oh, wait, you're on a Blu-ray now. And Snake's like, what? So, like, it's not that Pokemon's the only game that's done that, but even still, it's not a thing a lot of things do. And so that's another reason I love Gen 2, just because they're like, here's this whole other, like, here's Pokemon Gold, go play Pokemon Blue now. And you're like, okay, that's great. You've talked about these two things before. Why are you bringing this up now? Why aren't you just going and doing your last fight? And this here is the third one, and you're like, okay, I kind of gathered that because you're by this fight and you keep talking a lot. And you specifically said, like, we have one big battle to do, and you're level 77. This fight, right here, is the reason why I also like Pokemon Gold and Silver, Gen 2. Because you go through the thing, you get, you know, your Johto badges. Hooray. You fight the Elite Four. Hooray. Then you're like, okay, let's go and do the Kanto badges, and you're like, hooray. And then you can go fight the Elite Four again if you want. You know, all of that. But there is... How am I trying to say this? There are a lot of cool fights in Pokemon. Like, there are fights where you're like, yeah, let's do this. Like, thinking about, like, early stuff, like Gen 1, like when you fight Giovanni. Did you show up in time for the big one? You did. Very good time. But yeah, so there's a lot of cool fights in Pokemon. Like, in Gen 1, you've dealt with Giovanni and Sylph Tower, all that Team Rocket stuff, and then you go to the 8th gym, and it turns out Giovanni is the team leader, or the gym leader. And, like, that's pretty cool. Or you think, like, newer stuff, like, even, like, spin-off things like Pokemon Arceus, depending on who you side with, like, when you go to the Time Rift on top of the mountain, well, the Rift in the top of the mountain, and you either fight Dialga or Palkia, depending on which path you chose. Like, there is cool stuff on all the games. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, like, this is the only cool Pokemon fight. But no other Pokemon fight has ever wowed me the same one when you're just like, because you come here and you're like, oh, Mount Silver. Just like in the other game, you go into the, like, the post-game cave and you find Mewtwo. So you come here, you're like, what's this, like, legendary Pokemon I'm gonna find this time? Like, I got the Ho-Oh or the Lugia, like, the box art once. Like, what's this crazy Pokemon waiting at the, like, in Mount Silver? And you don't find a crazy Pokemon in Mount Silver. Instead, you find a trainer at the very end. And what trainer is it? It is none other than the champion that Ash wishes he could be. The protagonist from Gen 1. The one, the only, Champion Red. If you aren't, like, if you didn't grow up with Pokemon, this might not be hitting you as hard as it could. You're like, okay, what? The fact that, A, you're fighting, like, the champion of all like, there's been a lot of, like, Pokemon, like, you know, manga and anime stuff, and, like, most of it, you know, focuses on Ash, who is just a version of this guy. But Red is the, like, the actual good trainer that Ash wishes he could be. Like, Red is an amazing person. But it's not just that, it's that you are fighting. Remember, because this has happened now in other games since, but back in, what was it, 95, 93, whatever year Pokemon Gold and Silver came out, you're fighting yourself from the first gen. You're not just fighting like, oh, here's like Giovanni from, you're fighting the player character from Gen 1. So I'm not saying it's the only game that is, but back in the day, the fact that this sequel would have you fight your character from the first game was crazy. Now, on top of all of this, well, I'll hit the, who is he sending out first, by the way? Ladian. Okay, not a hard one. Oh, he's sending out his ace first. All right. Red is also one of the strongest opponents ever Now, I'm not saying, a lot of people debate, like, who's the strongest trainer you ever fight. And Red is up there. He's not necessarily the hardest. Like, what I heard, at least for a while, I know with newer gen stuff, I'm not up to date on things like Scarlet Violet, or even Sword or Shield that much, but a lot of people be like, Red's kind of the strongest, but Cynthia is generally, like, Cynthia's not quite as high level, but she's got better typing. And guess what? We're doing a randomized Nuzlocke, so typing doesn't matter. Like, because yeah, Red basically is running with, like, his team from the first game. In fact, I can even tell you what he normally runs with is he has a 73 Espeon, a 75 Snorlax, and then of course, because he's Red, he has all the starters. He has a 77 Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, and as a nod to the anime, and like, you know, mascot that it became by this point, a level 81 Pikachu. But does he have using Hyper Beam? I don't know if any of his Pokemon have Hyper Beam. Probably not. Well, Snorlax actually might. No, he does not use Hyper Beam. His Snorlax knows Body Slam. Normally. Also, just a second. What happened to my cool sound and stuff? I have a little special treat for you. Because this song is the same song that the you fight when you're doing Lance. It's the champion music. But come on, Red's better than Lance. So I'm thinking, how about we upgrade to the Heart Gold music? I was trying to do a Heart Gold run in the first place. Oh, you're just not going to hear the, like, click, 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 click of me moving around, so who cares about that? Yeah, we're going to... that's a little loud. Turn it down a bit. Yeah, I mean, Red beat Lance. Like, Red's cooler than Lance because he beat Lance or he wouldn't have been a champion in the first place. Yeah, there we go. A little Heart Gold version of the champion / Red fight. Now, the reason why I was saying we might lose this fight, as I just said, the levels he has for his Pokemon, 73, 75, and then 77, 77, 77, 81. The thing with Red, as I was alluding to earlier, he's one of the highest level, strongest trainers ever in any Pokemon game, from now through, like, Gen 9. He's not the highest. There's, like, you know, the special, like, guys that have, like, one Pokemon that is, like, level 100, like the Ponyta challenge, where it's like, you have to use a Ponyta against their level 100 Ponyta. Like, so I'm not saying, like, he's got the highest, but as an overall trainer fight, he is one of, if not the, like, highest level. One of the problems with fighting Red is that you don't have generally super strong choices for your Mons at this point, because it's still Gen 2, like... And so that's one of the reasons he's high level, and there aren't, like, the crazy bonk. Like, you can't have, like, Mega Rayquaza or something going on right now. Like, yeah, you got Mewtwo, and there's, you know, stuff like, you know, Dragonite, and there's the Legendary, but like, there's nothing way out there yet. So his high levels mean more back now in Gen 2 than they would in the future. But he's at least counterable, because he's got some weaknesses. Like, for instance, his ace, his 81, is a Pikachu, which we got very lucky that delayed him. Because, of course, you bring in a ground Pokemon, and it's just like, okay, who cares? Level 81 Pikachu Schmidt. But we're doing a randomized thing, so I don't know what he has. Now, we got very lucky that his ace got a low roll. Oh, this is epic. It's a good song. Yeah, like, imagine he had gotten an 81, you know, like, Lugia, which killed one of our people last time. Like, level 81 Lugia with Hydro Pump, we'd be getting, like, wrecked right now. So that's why I'm saying, yes, we're level 77, but depending on what he rolls, like, we got the hardest one out of the way. We got lucky for that. But what else does he have? What else does our champion Red have? Marowak. Will I change? Yes. Wonder if we can use, like, one of each. Okay, that's his lowest one, his 73. So this is easy. Weak to water, we're higher level than this. And yeah, and the reason I went with 77 is just because it's like right in the middle, like 3 of his guys are 77, so I'm like, that seems fine. Because he's got some that are lower, he's got the one that's higher, and I'm like, yeah, 77 straight in the middle will be about average. Pokemon Trainer Red is about to use Ninetales. Oh, I love Ninetales. Will I change? Oh. Well, I was like, I want to use one of everybody, but if you're 77, I don't want to put someone else in. Nope. All right. So far, we're getting some good randomization. He hasn't rolled anything crazy. It's not like, here comes Articuno, which would be really bad since we lost our rock last time. Okay, so now we have left the 377s. Ursa, oh, you know we have to. Should I use someone else? Yes. But you know, this entire run, I've been saying now, perfectly symmetrical violence never solved anything. I think this is the one time perfectly symmetrical violence is going to solve everything. Wow, you do not have a lot of defense on yours. Ooh, Thrash, all right? It's a bear beatdown. Whoa! Oh, okay, a critical. I was gonna say, wait, what? I just saw that health being like, Murr. I'm like, why is it not stopping? Why is this not stopping? Yeah, could I use an item? Sure, but we'll try and keep things, you know, even. He hasn't used an item yet, so we're gonna try not to. Don't you critical again. Although I have to heal. Because another Thrash, if it gets a critical, I die. But this has like 30% chance of flinch. Come on, flinch. You wish your naps were that risky. Yes, flinch. And that's why I did snore. It's not a lot, but the fact that we can full heal with rest and then get a 1/3 chance of causing flinch. Yeah, I wish my naps were that restorative. Okay. Who else you got in there? Poliwrath. That's a good mon. I'm not gonna lie. But, my man, you're a fighting type. And Mewtwo has been itching to try out its new Psychic. Because yeah, if he had gotten Poliwrath or the Ursaring, like as his 81, this could have gone very differently. The fact that we got a weak bug, the thing with bugs is that none of them are, like, the whole thing is they evolve really quickly, so you're like, oh boy, I got a cool evolve thing early, but then they, like, sort of cap out their stats. So, like, yeah, Sacred Fire versus a bug Pokemon. Wigglytuff. That's fine. We could use Shucky, like, Rotini. We hardly have used Rotini, but let's use our other shiny. Come on, we used 2 of our 3 shinies. We're going for 3 for 3. Yes, Wigglytuff in this point is normal. That's what I was saying. Also, this would have been a very bad matchup if this was Future Gen because it'd be part Fairy. And that could have been a problem, but Fairy doesn't exist in Gen 2. No, don't sing. Let's see if I can wake up without an item. okay. I'm asleep. It's attack missed. This is a very epic fight between trainers, the champions. The Gen 1 champion versus the Gen 2 champion, and they're like, I'm asleep, and Wigglytuff's like, I can't hit you. Only the most epic of fights here, but it failed. Now, I don't know how much this is going to do. But we are, let's be fair. I did say that one of my favorite parts of this is how Lance hyper beams someone out of nowhere. And I specifically taught Hyper Beam to my Dragonite, so, like, what type of person would I be if I didn't use Hyper Beam? Womp! I don't know if this will be a one-shot or not. The health is dropping. That's, like, the most epic little health. Oh, look at one tiny bit. And Rotini's just like, oh, I have to recharge. All right, Shucky. I mean, we used everyone else. Like, could we use another Hyper Beam at the last second? Yes. But let's get everyone a chance. Like, that's what Red would want. I can use Swords Dance and set up on it. No, let's end it now. Metal Claw. Yeah, that fancy little fade out that I did by hand. And then it's back to this version. Pokemon Trainer Red was defeated. And of course, as the silent protagonist, he says nothing. And poof. Ninja vanish. Like, what the? Like, I learned that from Giovanni a few years back. Don't worry about it. And then straight to the credits. I was gonna be like, okay, so now that we finished Pokemon Gold, like, let me do, like, the end of game, like, wrap-up thoughts. I kind of did that before the Red fight. Because I was building up to the fight with Red. You know, I love Gen 2. You know, it's not that I dislike other games, and the other games have awesome moments, just that this one has so many good moments in it. It puts it way up there for me. Again, it's a little sad, though, that it's an older generation, so it suffers from the same thing that they all kind of do back then, the HMs, the limited space, all that stuff. Yeah. I don't know when the next time I'll do another Pokemon thing is, but, you know, we'll come back with Gen 3 at some point. We did Leaf Green. We did, well, we tried to do Heart Gold, couldn't, did Gold. Then Gen 3 will be sort of the last of the ones where I kind of know all the Pokemon. That Sentret's just spinning around and around. It's very hypnotizing. I had some other thought about, like, Pokemon, and, like, I don't know Gen 4 as well, and then I'm just like, Sentret. All right, so, let's go talk to Mom. Because, you know, Red, I hope that Red ninja vanished to go talk to his mom, who's like, I haven't heard from him in, like, 3 years. Like, come on, dude. You can be, like, the champ. You don't have to be that broody. Hi, welcome home. You're trying very hard, I see. I've kept your room tidy. Or is this about your money? No, it's not about my money, Mom. Is daylight saving time over? But, Mom, have you not been... She's about, I've just been on having a raging party since you left. I mean, no, sorry, I've been keeping your room tidy. Do what you can. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Mom, I'm still alive. She has to check news for updates to see if the kids are still all right. Well, I mean, like, your mom can check news because you're currently doing stuff. Red's mom's just like, he became champion and then he kind of, like, left and he hasn't contacted me in 3 years, so I guess he's doing okay. Maybe. I do have, so it's like, what else could I say? Nothing really about the Pokemon thing. Eventually I'll come back with Gen 3, but of course we'll be a bit before we do that. We'll do some other variety first, just to mix it up. And speaking of which, for this week, and like this week, yeah, for the people on YouTube, Twitch, just to plug your ears for a second, I'll put some sort of filler up for the other video for this week. But I do have a plan for what I'm doing for my next thing. I'm excited for it. Like, I hope you're excited for it. You haven't told us what it is. Well, it's a surprise. Well, how do we know if we're, excited for it? Shut up. That's how. He doesn't come home for food or laundry. Nah, I mean, like, he's got so much money from being champion. Like, he can just buy food. Like, he can just go to a restaurant or whatever. Although the fact that he's, like, alone, isolated in a cave, just, like, training. Like, maybe he's just eating, like, cave fungus or something. I don't know. Like, Red, you've gotten some weird ideas these past 3 years. Let's beat him, kick him out of his trance, and send him home so he can be like, hi, Mom, I'm here to play N64 and, like, eat something besides cave fungus. And she's like, oh, dear, I'm glad that you're, not crazy anymore. Is that what actually happened? I don't know. We'd have to go to Pallet Town to check, and I'm not gonna do that. Oh, dear. I just learned a new cave fungus recipe I was dying to try out. I don't know if he'd be like, no, Mom, I've had nothing but cave fungus for the past 3 years, or if he's like, what? Cave fungus, you say? I'm there.